Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary. So we're back in our Plants vs. Zombies Cross Vampire Survivors mashup to do more mashing, which has been coming along nicely with our previous sessions, adding back plants, updating the data to better reflect the new direction, and even making the player immortal. We continue this endeavor today, but before we get there, remember to leave a like if you enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. And with that out of the way, let's talk about today's progress. The level up menu has made its triumphant return to the experience, and this time sporting a new look much closer to Vampire Survivors. Now, despite the nice new borders, this is still very much a work in progress. And with this new addition comes a ton of new functionality, the first being the initiation of said menu. Now, a few things happen when this function is triggered. First, 3 random numbers are chosen, with 2 being from the player's current roster of active and passive plants. One of those numbers is then chosen to be added to the level up list, if it's not already part of said list. This is done until our level up list is populated. While the menu is active, the mouse position is tracked for interactivity purposes. The menu is also drawn to the GUI layer via a surface, which we're definitely going to have to optimize later. And as a fun aside, the fancy borders are all done using gamemaker's 9-slice feature, which is actually pretty helpful and easy to use. And of course, when the menu is no longer needed and end function is triggered, resetting everything to ready it for repeated use. And as a result of this new addition, the controls have been updated for the left click check. So if the mouse is currently within the bounds of the menu using that position function mentioned previously, a new context check function automatically returns the roster data for the selected plant type. And if it doesn't exist, the plant is added to the roster. But if the plant does exist on the roster, its level is increased, which is represented by a single value added to the roster array on initial addition. And once a choice is made, it then closes the level up menu. In other words, outside of a few key limits and the obvious effects of leveling up, we've now got a working level menu like in Vampire Survivors, which is used to upgrade plants from Plants vs. Zombies. So, boom, more successful mashing has just occurred. Handshakes all around. Now, the reason our menu is left unfinished is because our plant code needed some major reworks if we wanted it to play nice with the new shiny menu. The first major change being that passive plants have been converted from a bunch of array data to struct data. And while some activity like the plant turn is still very complicated, generally speaking things are much easier to read now. And in the future, it'll be much easier to apply level up functionality to these entries. So today's session was bittersweet. We've made a lot of great progress to converting this project to improve communication between parts, but it came at the cost of an inability to add any new plants or features. But the level up system is finally taking shape, and once plant upgrades are laid out, then we can start implementing them. I should also mention that timers have been reduced even further and are finally starting to feel a lot better pacing wise. And we'll definitely be making a few tweaks in future episodes, such as swapping the plant turn out for the kernel pod as our Santa water equivalent. And this way we can evolve it into the cob cannon and do some major damage at max level. The plantern will likely become, our garlic, maybe. It's still up in the air at the time I'm recording this. Regardless, we're still on track and things are running smooth. Which is all we need for now. Again, given previous experience, we'll probably be able to avoid a lot of the pitfalls from those endeavors, so fingers crossed. I honestly think we're onto something great. But what do you think? Do you think we're still holding true to that mashup concept? Which plant should we add next? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you enjoy what I do here and want to get early access to these videos, or maybe play a game or two that you've seen on the channel, consider subscribing to my Patreon. But with that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.